guys, it's me, Moo. How are you doing? So this is a new build, and I've had this idea of doing a cemetery slash church for the longest time. I had this idea where this cemetery and church were very, very old, and it was just for people buried there was just for like people that are royalty or people that were warriors and stuff like that. And as the years went by and more modern, the world became, the new owners decided, hey, let's just have everybody just be buried here. Like, why does only royals and people that matter to society have to be built here? So that was my idea for the church. And what I'm building right now is kind of like a office area, because a lot of cemeteries that I've been to have like office areas where you could ask questions, and some of them have their own morgues. So the morgue is underneath because I was like, hey, let's do the morgue as a basement. And then now I'm working on a church. I have never built a church before, but I wanted to challenge myself to build a church. I also have never built a morgue before, and I wanted to challenge myself to do that too. I did not use any custom content. I used a lot of debug stuff because I know a lot of people don't like to use custom content. And I was like, hey, let me see if I could push myself to make this look like a morgue. I have no idea when I start building the morgue. I honestly don't. But I'm working on the church right now, and I had just finished the office area. And I want to talk about the office area because I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep it empty. So when this build goes on the gallery, the church and the office are going to be completely empty, except the morgue. I did try with the morgue. I don't know. I didn't really want to decorate the office because at the same time, it's like, what if people don't like how I decorate offices? And a lot of people, and I want people that download this to have their own vision of what a cemetery office looks like, regardless on the outside it looks. So the office has a reception slash waiting area, then a small room that leads to the owner's office where people could talk to them about burying their loved ones there, a tiny, tiny bathroom, a hallway that leads downstairs to the morgue, and then a small area that's a living area for the morgue workers. So if they work really late, they don't have to drive home sleepy. They could just sleep in that small area. I really didn't decorate anything because I was like, you know what? I want to see what people do with it. But this church took forever. It looks like it didn't take forever, but it took forever. I honestly spent so many hours rebuilding this church, destroying this church, rebuilding, and it was just like, I do like how the outside looks. The inside is not very nice. Honestly, I didn't even decorate the inside. That's up to you guys. You guys could decorate any church you want. I'm really proud of like the roof. It took me forever. And then I couldn't find any bells in debug because I wanted it to have like a big silver bell for some reason. Couldn't find any bells, and I was like, okay, whatever. No bell then. And then you guys will notice that the build is on a very, very, very tiny lot because I was supposed to build a very tiny church and a very tiny office. But then I was like, you know what? No, let's make them big like castles. And then I move it onto a different lot. And you guys will see me now working on the landscape. This landscape took forever too because I had no idea what I really wanted. Because I've said this before, I just jump into things without any idea. I'm like, let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Oh, it doesn't work. Let's erase that. Oh, this doesn't work. Let's erase that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to at least try. So I did designate 4 certain areas that will be gated, and for, I don't know, like one was a pet area where beloved pets passed away. It's only pets. And then another area by the church to the left side, I designated that for like warriors from the past, royalty, and stuff like that. There is an area near the church, but I'm not going to mention what that is right now. And then there is a gated area that was supposed to have like little grave houses and that kind of stuff, but it was too small to do that. And I was like, you know what, whatever. And then the terrain paint. I don't know what I wanted to do with the terrain paint. I was like, you know what, whatever. So I'm gating right here, and then you'll see I'm doing another gate in an area. This is where the dog and cat, and it's kind of funny because the gated areas I decided would be for like the older generation, where the knights and the warriors and the animals that passed away were familiars for spellcasters, or brave animals, or in modern days, if you could pay the price, you could bury your cat there. And then you'll see me starting to decorate. I decided to use the romantic garden pack because I really do like a lot of their stuff. It really fit the aesthetic I was going for. If you guys hear like growling in the background, it's my mom's dogs. I'm watching them for the day. They are play fighting. And then I like a lot of the statues. And then there's a part of me that's like, what if there was a sitting area where people just want to sit down and just take in the entirety of the cemetery? Like after they go to church, like it's an active church. After they go to church, they could sit down with their family and just mull over what they learned, or mull over the memories of people that they love buried there. You know what I mean? So I just had this idea for like this really cute sitting area that people could sit down after church and stuff like that. I was like, let's make it look really cute. The only problem is I couldn't add any lights. So I was like, shoot. But I do end up adding like street lights. Not gonna lie, I totally forgot about the dark, and I was just building. And then you guys are going to see me grouping together a lot of different tombstones, because I had this idea of this area being like people from back then, or witches and werewolves, just the past Sims that fought in wars, or their villages were pillaged and no bodies were found, but these were the brave souls that fought against them, things like that. Or I don't know, I don't think cemeteries do this. What if this is an urn grave? Like people that passed away that are part of families were cremated and they decided to bury all the urns together. I don't know. I just wanted to group together all of these tombstones because I thought they look cute. Also, you guys would have noticed that I have a lot of tombstones in the middle because debug, they doesn't let you clone or eyedrop items. So and it makes it easier for me, honestly, to have everything in the middle and just decorate. But a lot of the tombstones have that really ugly brown color, and I was like, no, I don't want that really ugly brown color. I want like grays and whites. Also, you'll notice I put servo graves because I was like, oh, we'll just, and I know I said, oh, that's for the past, but no. And then I'm working on another little grave area. I have no idea what these graves are. I was like, what if it's just modernized? The modern Sims just buried, there are people there. Some of the graves might be old. I don't know. I just decided to just put graves everywhere because it is a cemetery. And then I noticed I kept putting a lot of them in little groups, and I was like, maybe I should do singles. Now this little area that I'm working on is what I was talking about, the what do you call it, the royals, the warriors, the spellcasters, the vampires and werewolves that protected medieval Sims. Because I had this idea that, and I love fantasy world, so I had that story. I was like, oh, what if the area by the church is like royals and soldiers and warriors that protected medieval Sims and the royal family before they died out was like, oh, here's they will be buried with the royal family because they are heroes. You guys will notice that I'm putting a lot of graves, but I will put like grass and flowers and foliage later at the end because it was just easier for me. I do like making the tombstones big, kind of to show that that was like the head of the household, or they were like the best warrior. And if you notice, there are some really tiny tombstones. I kind of envision that they were either children or babies, because back then in the medieval times, not a lot of babies survived because they weren't as cleanly. Well, European medieval, but this is The Sims. So I don't know. Baby Sims die sometimes, right? Or they're taken away. I don't know. But I just wanted to put tiny tombstones. And then I did put a path that leads to the royal family that died out. I did put a lot of them. And then I found these little, like, I guess they're like grave markers. And I had this idea of putting like them there. Like some, you know how some graves have those stone things. And now you guys are going to see me working on the dog, the pet area. My idea for this, I keep saying I'm sorry. My idea for this was that these are loyal animals slash familiars for spellcasters, beloved pets. And it kind of sucks because they only have like dog and cats. And it would have been really cool if they had like different kind of pets, because I have a friend that has a pet alligator, or probably tombstone for a snake. I was thinking the bigger tombstones were like really old school pets that fought alongside their masters, and when they died in battle, the masters buried them here. I'm pretty proud of how I decorated this cemetery, honestly. And then of course I forgot to do a, you know, stone walkway, and then you'll see me just like putting random tombstones, because I noticed I put a lot of them together and I was like, okay, some of them need to be single because I always have them like really grouped up. And then in this area I was like, what if, you know, this is just an old forgotten tomb. It's an old forgotten area where people could just walk through, and they're probably like really, I wanted them to look really really old, and I wanted them all to be black, but for some reason the werewolf ones you can't change color, so it's always that color. So I was like, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's fine. I guess the werewolves will have to have the silver color to their tombstone. The spellcaster gravestones are actually pretty nice because you could choose from different colors. I end up putting terrain paint later to make it look like a path, because I didn't want to use the stones, so I used a brown terrain paint. And then I put some gravestones here, and then you're gonna see me just like kind of go crazy and just start adding gravestones everywhere, because I was like, wait a minute, we need single gravestones because I put all the families together. What about people that are just buried just buried anywhere? And if you've been to cemeteries, some of them are very very clean, unless, you know, it's a forgotten cemetery. But I didn't really like the clean look with the gravestones and stuff like that, or tombstones. So when I start putting foliage, I still wanted it to give an idea that the groundskeeper keeps everything, groundskeeper, is that what they're called? Keeps everything clean and tidy. But at the same time, I wanted there to be this idea where some of the Sims are forgotten. I know that's really, really sad. But I have seen like graves that are not really taken care of because people either forgot them or the last family members passed away. And it's really sad. And then you're going to see me add a whole bunch of street lamps because I was like, oops, I forgot to add light. How are people going to go to church at night if it's really super dark? There are some areas where I didn't add streetlights. And then you're going to see me add another gate there for a different type of grave area. And then I just started using the urns. And then I was like, wait a minute, I don't want it just to be all green. So then you're going to see me putting a whole bunch of human tombstones. And a lot of my friends didn't like this, but this is a tombstone area for children that have passed very young. The ones that are grouped together are either siblings or family related. I don't know what to say because I was like, wait a minute. Cemeteries are sad and it reminds us of our mortality. And sometimes some people don't make it past don't even make it past to teenagehood, you know what I mean? Or adulthood. So this is kind of like teenagers and children mixed together. So yeah, my friends did not like that. A lot of when I showed like my friends pictures of it, they're like, why are the tombstones so small? And I'm like, no reason. Okay, so you guys are gonna see me decorating. I'm not decorating, fixing up the office area. So all I did was just add lights and painted it. That's it. And then now I'm working on the morgue, and I'm pretty excited about this. I end up adding the bathroom towards the end of the build, but I didn't record it because I was like, it's just a bathroom. And I'm kind of pissed off because it didn't record me making the fire. I don't know what it's called, incendiary, where they cremate people. And I don't know why, like, OBS was recording, it just didn't record that area. Like, that's really dumb. And then I couldn't find any metal doors, so I had to use like the pet doors to make it like, you know, where they keep the bodies. And I made it I lowered it where it could hit that slab table, so you'll see how the table's in front of it. And I used candy jars. I don't know why, I just used candy jars and then all of this debug stuff I found. And this took me forever because I was like putting everything on a shelf and I was like, damn it, I wish like we could put more than only 4 things on a shelf and we don't have to like use cheats. And then those things are supposed to be like the fluid for when they drain the blood and stuff. I honestly have no idea what it is. But you'll see me like rearranging everything and decorating everything, and I had to cut out a whole bunch of stuff because oh my god, I could not decide where to put things. I was moving things around. And like I said, I've never been in a morgue before. I've only seen it on TV shows. And I looked up pictures and I was like, okay, this is going to get as close as I possibly can. So I couldn't find anything that looked like really medical because you know how they drain the body out of, they drain the body. They drain the blood out of the body and replace it with like embalming fluid. I couldn't find anything that looked remotely close to it. So I found that in the Strangerville catalog and just used it. I didn't even change the colors. You'll see me actually decorating the outside now, and I decided to place the trees first. And like I said, I wanted it to have like a clean look, but at the same time, I did want to indicate that some tombstones were forgotten about. So you'll see me like using these bushes to wrap around or put in front of certain tombstones, basically, you know, indicating that either their family, the last of the family passed away and the grave isn't being taken care of, or they were just forgotten. And then this area, I wanted to add more of that because this was supposed to be the forgotten area where a lot of these tombstones are so very old that none of their bloodlines actually exist anymore. So I added a lot of those grass type area things. I don't know what it's called. The clover bushes. And I really did like sizing them down because it gives this illusion that there's a lot. And I added a lot of flowers. And then my grandmother always told me that when sunflowers grow in random places, that there could be bodies there. I don't know if she told me that because I was a kid, but it freaked me out and I just remembered that and I put sunflowers there, like kind of indicating that there is a body there that wasn't put in a casket. And then I did a little cute what do you call it, pond area, because it's not a Adayinmymeadow build without a little pond area, because I like ponds. And then in this area, of course, I did the same thing. I put little, bushes around the graves, kind of indicating that they're forgotten about, which is really sad. And then I love using flowers because sometimes flowers, especially wildflowers, will grow in the strangest of areas. I kind of do like how clean it still looks because I didn't want it to look like, I didn't want the grass area to overpower the area and give it like a wild kind of meadowy look, because this is a cemetery. People have to take care of the land, right? Right. Not only that, people still go to the church, and I bet the owners they take pride in keeping keeping their cemetery clean. All of the stuff that I got were actually from Debug. I think. I don't know. I can't remember. And then I got this idea of putting flowers around certain tombstones, kind of indicating that the flowers are probably grown from the magic of occult sims. And then, yes, even with the puppies too, because some of them are supposed to be really old graves. And then you'll see me start decorating the tops of the graves with like toys and puppy toys and lanterns and stuff like that, because I was like, you know what if the very loved pets were given items to play in their afterlife? And then you'll see me going to decorate the children area soon. And I did add flowers and stuff like that. And I do add like toys and stuff. So you'll see me adding lanterns and all these really cute toys. And I don't know, I just thought that because I have seen children's tombstones and cemeteries have toys and stuff, I was like, you know what, let's do this. Let's add some toys so they could have something to play with in their afterlife. And then the ones with the balloons, I imagine that the parents are still like alive and they leave balloons for their child. And then same thing. I know it's kind of sad to put like foliage around certain graves, but it's like something happens. And then I did the same thing. I added lanterns and stuff like that. And then you're gonna see me add like weird stuff because I was like, what do I put for adults? So there's toy. I put olives and like peppers. I don't know, bath salts. A book. I was like, I don't know what to put. I did put flowers. All right, y'all, video's coming to an end. I guess I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.